Mr. Alok Ranjan sir has also joined, and due to certain technical glitch, he had to leave. And let me have a privilege to say a few words for sir. Mr. Alok Ranjan sir is a 1978 batch IS officer from UP cadre and an alumni of IIM Ahmedabad. He has been a chief secretary for the government of UP prior to this. He has held various portfolios, including Infrastructure and Industrial Development Commissioner and Agriculture Production Commissioner for Uttar Pradesh. He is an established thought leader and a public speaker. He has delivered many talks at various educational and business forums. He is the author of two books and also writes articles for leading national publications. And we are extremely honored to have you here, sir, to chair the session on mental health care and support perspective of NEP 2020. And I will request you, sir, for your opening remarks and to kindly chair this session on mental health care and support perspective of NEP 2020. Mr. Alok Ranjan, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pradhan. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, because there was some technical problem and I was not getting the voice also and I'm not able to communicate also. But so I've switched off from the laptop into my mobile now. So I hope I am visible and audible both. So thank you very much for your kind words and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this very interesting session. And as the Vice Chancellor just said, I heard the closing remarks of his statement. I missed out the earlier part about your career counseling as well as psychological counseling, both aspects which you're covering in this center, which has just been inaugurated in the Department of Psychology, Lucknow University. I think both are very, very relevant today. Psychological counseling as well as career counseling, and are areas which are very much ignored. And as far as our youth is concerned today, this is very, very vital for their mental health, the topic that is there for today. And in the perspective of new education policy, it says, so certainly I would like to say a few words of mine from my own experience on this. Let me say that a young boy or a girl, when she goes through her education system, and as my experience, is subjected to a lot of pressure. The main pressure is, of course, the academic pressure, the pressure to succeed. Nowadays, everybody is getting 100% or 99% or 98%. That becomes an additional kind of a pressure that somebody, even if he or she scores 90 or 92%, the parents also start feeling as if the child is lagged behind. The child also started feeling inferior, and that kind of creates an environment of pressure, which becomes very difficult to cope with it. And even before he starts his or her life, the child starts to think that she is a failure. I mean, that kind of a thing starts happening. And that is where it is so very important to give this psychological counseling and career counseling, to tell how to cope with this kind of pressure, that all is not lost. Grades are not everything. There's so many other aspects of personality. There's so many other aspects of intelligence. On Howard Gardner said that intelligence is multiple. Intelligence is not only IQ, and grades is checking only IQ part of it. But there are 7 kinds of intelligences which Howard Gardner talks about. Intelligence for music, intelligence for spatial intelligence, intelligence for numbers. There's so many other kinds. You may be good at one thing, you may not be good at another thing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're going to fall behind in life. You can succeed in life with the kind of intelligence which you have been born with or which you have developed over time. So that the child does need psychological counseling in today's environment, and more than the child, I think the parents need counseling. I've seen the way parents get out of the children to score marks and they start getting depressed. If this child scores slightly less, I mean, they create an atmosphere of stress for the child. And that is why you see cases where there's deviant behavior in children. People are taking to drugs. Young boys and girls are going to alcohol. They are going to cigarette and tobacco. Are going to a drug addiction in a big way. And this has to be prevented, because this is the right opposite of mental health. If they go for drug addiction, if they go for alcohol addiction, then it shows poor mental health and it leads further to deterioration in their mental health. And that is why it's so very important. Career counseling. Nowhere is there any career counseling taking place in our society today. I found when I was Principal Secretary Technical Education, everybody wanted at that time his child to become an engineer. And even if a child is getting 40% in PCM, physics, chemistry, mathematics, the parents are insistent that isko engineer hi banana hai. And they used to come to me, he has not succeeded in the entrance examination, but somehow, can you speak to somebody? Can some management quota be used anywhere and he gets admission? And I used to tell them, look, your child is scoring 45% in PCM. He is just not cut out for engineering. He may be very good in law. Why don't you try that? He may be very good in history. Why don't you try that? He may be very good in journalism. Why don't you try that? But no, sir, wo to engineering banayenge. So this kind of thing, the parents and the children also, they don't know what to do. So career counseling, where there can be psychometric tests, where can there be aptitude tests, where you understand, and the child also understands what his or her aptitude is, what he is best suited for, and then he or she takes up that career. I'm sure they will succeed. You know, I mean, you must have heard of the story, Mr. Motilal Nehru. They said that he failed thrice in his BSc examination. And when he took up law, he topped in the law examination and became one of the topmost lawyers of the country at that time. So this is just an example, but there are many such examples. A person has to go for something which he has an aptitude for. And this career counseling, where aptitude testing is involved, where he is to be told that so many careers are there. It is not that you only have to become a civil servant or an engineer or a doctor. There are thousands of careers available where you can make a mark for yourself today. So career counseling is so very important. I'm so happy this career counseling center has been started by the University of Lucknow. I'll just share a few examples with me because I like to tell stories. And I think the best way to communicate anything is to tell stories. Of course, Dr. Archana Shukla is the keynote speaker. She's expert today. We are here to listen to her. But I just take a few minutes more. I just share with you one experience that when I joined IIM Ahmedabad, you know, I joined IIM Ahmedabad immediately after doing my BA Honours Economics from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. As you all know, the IIMs and even the CAT and all the system is slightly biased towards quantitative methods, and even the training and the teaching in the IIMs is more focused or accented towards quantitative. So engineers have a head advantage slightly as compared to students like us who went from a discipline like economics, pure economics. I found that 60% of my batchmates in IIM were IITians, and those IITians were very good in mathematics, extremely good. And so they picked up mathematical subjects or things very fast. And we took a slightly longer time. And so it was, even I remember for me also when I went, it took some time to adjust that here I had an impression about myself that I was very good in academics. I was a brilliant student, everything. And I have come in here and I'm suddenly finding that in certain quantitative aptitude kind of subjects, their IITians, they're scoring much better than I'm scoring. They're grasping things much faster than I'm doing. And they led to a period of dissonance. I can tell you that. But slowly then I adapted to it and slowly worked harder on those areas, slowly improved, slowly adjusted to the reality also. But let me share with you. I recall in my batch in IIM Ahmedabad, there were as many as 3 students who absolutely lost their mental balance. To much of the extent that 2 had to be carried away. They had to leave the course midway because they could not complete it. And you know what the main reason was? What they used to, the same reason was this only. All of them were toppers. Anybody who goes to IIM Ahmedabad has been a topper somewhere. And there are 120, at that time, when I was in IIM Ahmedabad, there were 120 students in the batch. So somebody has to come rank 115, rank 118. Somebody has to be there, no? So these people were suddenly so shocked that all my life I have been a top student and suddenly my rank is 115, my rank is 118. Suddenly I'm getting a C grade, a C minus grade. What is happening? They just could not cope with it. I just do recall that 3 students, exactly I remember the example, very bright boys, very good, but they completely ruined their life because they just could not cope with that kind of a pressure. And they started getting delusions, they started, talking to themselves, and all kind of deviant behavior started. So I just quoting that example to say that in life, it is not always possible to succeed, whether in academics or in life. In fact, you fail more often than you succeed. And the most important thing is handling both. Mental health is important to handle failure as well as to handle success. Mind you, success is also very difficult to handle. Let me tell you this. Success goes to the head and success can drive you mad absolutely. And success can make you insensitive totally. And so that is very important to have the ability to handle both failure and success. And that is why this psychological counseling and this career counseling and the whole topic of mental health becomes very, 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 very important. Now, let me tell you something more. What academics is testing basically is IQ. My 38 years of experience in the civil service as an IAS officer, where I held various positions, I found ultimately what the most important quality you need to be successful is handling people, dealing with people, how you motivate people, how you manage people, how you respond to people, how you build a team. And that, let me tell you, is not a function of IQ. It is a function of EQ. Emotional intelligence, the emotional quotient. It is so very important. How self-aware are you? Do you know about your emotions? Do you know what motivates you? Do you know what makes you angry? Do you know what makes you feel frustrated? You must understand yourself first. Then self-regulation. Can you regulate yourself? Can you regulate your emotions? Can you control your anger? Can you control your reactions? Can you control not getting depressed? Is that possible? Have you got self-regulation? Then empathy. Do you have empathy? Do you understand the feelings of the other person? So important in IAS, I found. We have to understand what the other person on the other side of the table is feeling. We deal with people throughout the day. If you don't understand what he's feeling, then how do we address his grievances? Empathy, and then motivation. What motivates myself and what motivates others? These are the quintessential aspects of emotional intelligence. And that needs to be developed in a big way. And that is an essential part of mental health. Moving forward, there is spiritual intelligence also. There has to be a spiritual quotient. Are we prone to greed? Are we prone to jealousy? Are we prone to pride? Are we prone to lust? Are we prone to just running after materialism? Or do we think that there is a higher purpose of life? Are we happy that if we have done our best, no matter what the result comes, we are willing to accept it? We are willing to go on in life because no one knows what better things are there in store for us. So that kind of spiritual attitude is also very important in life. So you have to develop the EQ, you have to develop the SQ, you have to develop the social quotient. Only then can you live a very proper life and be fully successful. And the new education policy, I'm happy, is talking about holistic development of an individual, to develop all aspects of an individual's personality. They're talking of developing sports, extracurricular activities. They're talking of developing vocational education, softer skills, and integrating it overall with the whole setup of the curriculum, and also reducing the academic burden, doing away with rote learning, making grades not so important, talking about reducing the school bag, and then problem solving approach, thinking approach, analytical approach. All these things are so very important. So I think the new education policy has talked about mental health in a way, and this is so very vital. Before I end, I must answer one thing. I'll try to answer that. Now, it's very easy to tell somebody, oh, you must have control over your mind. But let me tell you, perhaps it is the most difficult thing. I read a book called Higher Than Everest by Major S.P.S. Ahluwalia. He climbed the Everest and then he had a paralytic attack when he lost both his feet. A wonderful book if you read that. He said that climbing the Everest was far easier than coping with a situation when he lost both his feet to an accident, and then responding to life and keeping his motivation high and keeping his positive attitude high. That is so important. But so it is easier said than done. So we have to train our mind. And that is where the psychological counseling and these centers become important. Continuous training of the mind is as essential as continuous training of the body. If you want to do physical exercises, if you want to become well physically, so you have to become well mentally, and the mind has to be trained. Mind has to be taken in a particular direction. And I would like to add that yoga and meditation people are talking of these days. I personally feel meditation is a great way by which you can control your mind. Unfortunately, with yoga, people somehow understand only asanas. But asana is only one part of the eightfold path that is yoga. It's Ashtanga Yoga, which is mainly focusing on meditation, pranayam, and meditation. And that is so vital. If you meditate, it's a process of training your mind. And if you train your mind to be calm, to be cool, to be collected, then to be peaceful, then you are able to respond in a similar manner to any kind of challenges that are thrown at you by life. And life, let me tell you, will throw challenges. It throws challenges every step. It puts obstacles at every corner. And so you have to be ready and prepared to handle that. And therefore, the youth must be prepared to cope with this kind of stresses in life. Today you see celebrities, all major tennis players and cricket players have psychological coaches. They coach them. All film stars and all are having life coaches. They tell them how to face the vicissitudes of life. So therefore, right from the youth stage itself, it's important that this kind of training is given to the students. And I am so very happy, and I compliment Dr. Pradhan and a team in psychological department and the Honorable Vice Chancellor who has started this kind of a center, which by they're focusing on this very important aspect of mental health, which is so essential if we want to reap the demographic dividend, if we want to make our youth perform, if we want to make our youth to really be able to handle life and to succeed in a big way. With these words, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak and address you. I hope I have been able to say something of relevance to you all, and I'm sure we are all waiting to listen to the keynote speaker, Dr. Archana Shukla. And so I think I can request Dr. Archana Shukla now to take over, please. I hope I have not taken some of your time. Please go ahead and give your keynote address, Dr. Archana Shukla, please. Thank you so much.